our system we designed. First of all, we would like to meet our team. We will ask them at the end of the presentation to come in front. Tessellation started with the following design brief. I will tell it in short. So we had to design an environment that motivates teenagers to leave their bed and become socially and physically active. We had to include the hospital staff as puzzle motivators, and these puzzles will be highly integrated in the hospital environment. We have designed some experiences in our concept, a satisfying and challenging experience, what means that the challenge level and the satisfying level should be correctly balanced to keep them motivated. So not too difficult and not too simple. We help to tell you something about how this is integrated in our concept and system.
Yeah, so the concept of tessellation is basically challenge teenagers with exciting puzzles, challenge teenagers to solve exciting puzzles, and in exchange reward them greatly. So they will get out of bed and be socially and physically active at the same time. Tessellation mainly consists of three parts. We have a personal object which we give to every patient, which is called the trigger, which I will tell more about later. We have four small puzzles and one end puzzle, sort of the boss, the biggest, baddest puzzle of them all. The trigger. The trigger is given by the physiotherapist or any hospital staff member to the patient. And the trigger is sort of a container of rewards. It's a personal progress object, and with it they can trigger the puzzles. When they've solved the puzzle, the color they will then collect will flow into their trigger, and this trigger will become sort of like a lava lamp, a decorative object for them, but also a representation of how many of the puzzles they have solved. It has therefore a compact and an expanded state. As you can see on the pictures, when it's expanded, the teenager can show how far it's been, how many of the puzzles he or she has solved. And when it's closed, the teenager might not want to show how many puzzles he has solved, or still needs to solve many puzzles. It's designed as a treasure box for the teenager, and it's also given by the physiotherapist mainly because research shows that every teenager has a very well-developed bond with this staff member, and it will often do something sooner when it's given by this specific person than just any object. The color collecting, as I've mentioned earlier, every puzzle is all about color collecting because we want the patient not to solve just any puzzle. We want them to physically collect the color inside of their trigger. So they have to guide a color to the trigger, which then stays there until they arrive at the end puzzle, as you can see, for every level. And in the end puzzle, every color pours out of their trigger. They have to solve a very huge puzzle. And when this puzzle is solved, all the triggers reset again, and only a small, very bright LED will stay there, continuing or showing that the teenager has completed the end puzzle one time. And then the loop starts all over again, continuously motivating the teenager to get better and to keep on solving the puzzles. The places in the hospital where the puzzles will be placed are placed so that no teenager should have to walk too far. The four small puzzles are in the hallways, not too far from any teenager. And the end puzzle is in a special place. It's in the teenage area. This is, of course, to make the teenage area some sort of a meeting point for the teenagers, where they can look at each other's triggers or try to exchange color collecting strategies while solving the end puzzle. And as you may have found at the exhibition, we have made two prototypes to make our concept experiential. One small puzzle where you collect the color, and the end puzzle where all the colors are distributed again, and then we will have to solve the end puzzle.
So we had a lot of visitors in the last 4 days. Is there anyone who didn't experience our system? Yeah, I would like to invite you to experience it at 5:30. But yeah, we had a lot of positive reactions, and if I may quote, I'm going to beat all levels. There were some visitors who visited on Monday and came back 2 days later and wanted to solve level 3 because that is where they were, where they were stuck last time. We even got one visitor who really wanted this at her home, in her room, and she like threatened us like, I'm gonna steal it, you better lock it. And it's actually quite fun to get those reactions. So we have some future improvements, some recommendations, and we want to create the tiles, like modular tiles. So you can choose how many tiles you would like to have, like 10, 12, and also 27. So they don't come in pairs or just one simple tile that can be added. This will be done with the clicking mechanism, and of course there will be unlimited levels and a fine-tuning of rewards, so better interaction, more interactions. And the trigger is, at least itself, it has to be a bit more smaller, a bit more compact. That will be achieved with smaller technology, so with smaller chips, and it has to be a smoother surface and a smoother sliding mechanism, so it fits better in your hand. We have a small video left for you. It shows the scenario within the hospital. We would like to thank the actors, so of John and Starter. Of course, we would like to thank our sponsors, Prince Maximus Center, TU Delft, and the ID Studio Lab, and other sponsors who made it possible to realize our system. And we would like to thank you for listening. And if there are any questions, please ask us after the video. It may be in Dutch. We will translate it for the other visitors here. And I hope you will enjoy this video.
We of course invite our whole team to stand with us here to answer any further questions and look at the video.